10,
9, 8, 7.
Welcome to North Country Commerce, a business and community service of the Plattsburgh North Country Chamber of Commerce. I'm Gary Douglas, Executive Director of the Chamber, and each week we try to bring some interesting information of use to business here in the North Country and just to the people here of the North Country about things that are happening in the business community, services that are available, upcoming events, and some exciting developments on occasion. And this episode is going to delve very much into one of those exciting developments that we're all hearing about and curious about, and some are starting to get into, but others are I think are coming to realize that they're going to need to learn about it very soon. And we see the Chamber as being positioned to play a role in that, having a responsibility to do that. That's the World Wide Web, the Internet, home pages, all those terms that we're starting to have enter our language. The board of the Chamber each year does a strategic retreat for a couple of days to consider things that are impacting business here in the North Country, or things that we expect will be impacting business, and how the Chamber can help businesses deal with it, the services that we might be able to provide, how we can do the right things at the right time. And we spent a good part of our last retreat last fall talking about this whole subject of technology and the Internet and the World Wide Web, how this was going to start affecting business up here. The fact that within a couple of years we anticipate that a great many things that we now do in our daily business lives we will be doing on the Internet, we will be doing through the World Wide Web. Even though we may not think that's the case, it's coming at us hard, it's coming at us strong, it's coming at us fast. And to some degree we realize that this area up here very often is about 2 years kind of behind the curve of major changes in technologies, which serves us well. It gives us a chance right now, if we do the right things and position ourselves, that we'll be ready as our member businesses and folks out there over the next couple of years come to realize, I need to start learning about this. I need to start doing some part of my business in this way, because I'm finding out my competition is doing it, or my customers are asking me about it. And when that time comes, we want to be ready to provide the information, provide the services, make it as easy as possible, as user-friendly as possible, and help the North Country become part of this phenomenal development, which there's probably nothing in history quite like it, other than going back to the age of the telephone, perhaps, which changed communications. This is probably the next greatest event since that time. 3 different ways that we're really approaching that here in the Chamber right now this year as priorities. First of all, getting our own act in order here at the Chamber. We're upgrading all of our own equipment and technology, putting our staff on Internet access, getting everybody into the computer age so that we're ready here to use the technology ourselves and to interact with our members in the future. And then secondly, our board made a commitment to education. That one of the prime focuses of our educational efforts for our members this year will be to help them learn about the Internet, learn about what this means to them, and to start getting comfortable with it. And one of the ways we're doing that is by a whole series of these kind of hands-on opportunities in cooperation with the North Country Teacher Resource Center and SUNY Plattsburgh to give business people a chance to sit down that have never seen this before, but they're hearing about it, and actually sit with a computer and have a chance to play with it and see it and get comfortable with it and learn about it. We're going to continue to do these, and any business people out there in the North Country that are interested in these kinds of programs should certainly be contacting us. We're keeping reservation lists of people that have expressed interest, and as we get access to facilities, we're just going to keep scheduling these. So definitely call us at 563-1000 if you or folks at your business want to get hooked up with some of these seminars and workshops and hands-on tours that we're going to be doing. And then third was really direct service. That we needed to position ourselves now to be able to provide direct services to our members, both by putting all of the kinds of services that chambers have always done and that we do, tourism information and small business services and referral services, finding where a business is and what they do and finding out where you get things that you're looking for. To have all of that on the World Wide Web so that people can start using us that way, and then in turn provide some ways that our member businesses out there can also wade into this, develop their own home pages, start doing business in reverse through us with our assistance on the World Wide Web. One of the primary folks here at the Chamber who's become our in-house expert in the last year, we turned to her as a Chamber and from the board and said, find out about all this stuff and tell us what we should be doing. Jody Parks, our Associate Director here at the Chamber. Why is this important?
I think it's something that the entire community is hearing about, but not very many people have a chance to actually experience it. And in a few months or in a year from now, everybody is going to have access to it or have a reason that they really need to be on the internet or at least know something more about it. And there just isn't that opportunity in this area right now. So the Chamber's going to take the reins and go ahead and provide those opportunities for people.
Mm-hmm. We've been developing our own major site on the web.
Yes, we have.
And people can be looking at for that at what address? They can write that down, and when the show's over, if you have access to the internet, go find us.
It will be on the World Wide Web at North Country Chamber, all one word, all small letters, .com. And they can take a look at our homepage from there. We had a great time developing that. We learned a lot from it, and I think it will probably continue to develop as the year goes on. We've got most of it up and running, and it'll change probably as we get requests from people. If they have different things they'd like to see on our homepage, we'll go with the flow and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a great experience, and we've had it online just for a short amount of time and received tons and tons of people asking us for information. Send us information about Lake Champlain. I'm planning on visiting there soon. Please send me some brochures. So it's been a great tool for us so far, and we're just getting into it right now.
Yeah, we haven't even put it on a brochure or promoted it or advertised it beyond just locally, and people are stumbling across this already.
It's great. They've sent requests from Canada, from Massachusetts, from Connecticut, from downstate in New York, all over the place. So it's really been reaching out for us, and we just sit back and send the brochures and let people know about Plattsburgh.
What as we've learned, what a website essentially is for folks out there that hear these terms, that you really think of it almost as a travel guide or a brochure or a booklet on your TV screen. And you develop that same kind of content. It's just another way to graphically provide information. It poses some new challenges to do that in some different ways so that it is interesting, because the attention span perhaps of folks watching something in the TV age on their screen may be a little less than when they're looking at a magazine. So it does have some challenges, but conceptually that basically is what it is. We're kind of moving to where we're going to get information and give information by that medium, rather than or at least in addition to publishing things and doing things the way we've done it in the past. Our site, which is a fairly substantial one,
Yes, it is.
and a fairly substantial commitment by the Chamber, is really to look at laying the groundwork right now for people to be able to access, as I mentioned before, all the kinds of services that people have always come to Chambers for. And so we have what you think of as the home page, that
tourism page, and we've gotten a lot of calls from people, or actually a lot of email from people. I have to change my terminology now. A lot of email from people who are specifically looking for tourism information, and they want to know where can they stay on Lake Champlain and what is there to do in the Adirondacks, and that's been a fantastic page for us so far.
Yeah, we've set it up so that it's just like a coupon in Travel Guide. It has a list of all the kinds of information we have on camping and fishing and so on, and they can just click on those things and give us their name and address, just as if they were filling out a coupon by hand. But they email it to us. It just comes directly to us by internet, and we open our email each day and answer those requests just like you open the mail every day when it comes.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be very exciting in the future. Other sections that we've done, we're going to have a community profile section, Because people traditionally around the country and the world, when they want to know about an area, they want to know what the median income is and the population and various kinds of statistics about an area, chambers are frequently the place where they come. So we're going to have one area where that's all on there, and this will become a new way that they can get that without having to call us and get it by mail. We're going to have a business news report. Each month we're going to have some topical business news stories. It might be things like the rolling out of the first cars from the Bombardier plant, or that month's border crossing numbers, things of that sort that are topical news stories. They will change each month, which means there's reason to visit the site every month. It won't be a matter of visiting it once and saying, well, I saw that. That's done. I'll come back every month, and there's going to be some new things there to take a look at. We're going to have a calendar of events. Again, something that's going to change every month, and we hope eventually this is going to become a real community service. That it will become something down the road that folks, when they're thinking of scheduling an event or a meeting out there in the community, they won't do it until they check this, because they want to see what else is scheduled. And then once they've checked it and they said, okay, we're going to do it that date, they're going to make sure they let us know about it, so the community really has a central, comprehensive calendar of events. We're going to have a substantial subsection on economic development to promote this area to business and industry out there. The potential market, once you get on this source, is just it's literally worldwide, and it's exploding in terms of the number of people that might potentially learn about what this area has to offer in terms of its strategic location and its accessibility to transportation and so on, which so many out there don't know, and but hopefully will discover Plattsburgh by this means. Small Business Resource Center, we're going to offer all of our small business services, access to all of our publications, our lending library, listings of all of the booklets and things that small business can get through the chamber, and again with an email coupon for our members to request these things for free. A section on the Chamber of Commerce itself and how to join and what's going on with the Chamber, upcoming seminars and workshops and that sort of news for our members. And then I think perhaps most exciting of all for business up here, which really gets into the reverse, all of those things are about people accessing information from the Chamber, but then that eighth section is really about how we can help members wade into this, and that's our business directory.
So if you're not on the internet in a couple of years, you're going to be missing out on a lot of opportunity. Right now, a lot of people in this area don't have that ability, so we are doing it for them. We are going to list all of our chamber members on the internet for free, and they will be listed in the categories that they are in our directory. And so if people are looking for accounting services, they can click on that little section and it'll take them right to that part of our directory, and they can look at all of the accountants, and they can, if that person has a home page, they can link it to our directory and it will go directly to their home page. So it's going to be very convenient for people. They don't have to make tons of phone calls. They can see it all right on their computer screen, and probably in the near future they'll be able to order things right from their computer screen and make it that simple.
It's a great service, and our members are just very excited by the notion that the Chamber is putting them on there for free, and we think over time they are going to want to do more with that as they find out that there is some value to it, and they're going to want to do their own home pages. And to make that as easy as possible, we have two partners that have worked with us in developing this whole site for the Chamber, and who are now offering their services through the Chamber to all of our members to be their partners and their friends and helpmates in helping them wade into this and consider home pages, and if they want to do a home page, help them develop it. We have Stuart Rowley, who's a graphic designer here in Plattsburgh, and they're responsible for what we think are just the excellent graphics that folks will see on our site when they visit it. And Wayne Gagne from Online Solutions here, who is just really the gizmo king for us. He's the fellow that understands all this, makes it happen, understands it, and we found particularly user friendly. I know some folks out there have probably I know I have dealt with some people that are kind of into this thing in the past, and they walk away knowing less than when they started because of the lingo and the people can get very focused into the technology and end up making people feel uncomfortable with it. But one of the things we've found with Wayne in particular is that he's easy and comfortable to work with, and he translates it and makes it very understandable, because it really isn't that complicated. Once you get into it, you realize it's not scary. It's really not that complicated. It just, but you can be put off by it up front until you get comfortable with it. And Wayne, we thank you for making us comfortable with it.
Well, thank you, Gary.
Tell us a little bit about the development of a home page and how our members might work with the two of you to do this if they think they might want to do that.
Okay, thank you. The concept of the home page is very much like the concept of a printed brochure that you would put out from your business on a home page. And home page is the first page or the only page that you might have. You can put a couple of graphics. Some limitations, it can be presented in a way that would be very similar to the way it might be presented in a brochure, for example. A page is much longer than a printed page, and it scrolls down, a little arrow on the side, you keep clicking on it and it can keep going on down for essentially an unlimited length. After a while it starts to slow down because of the size, but it can be quite lengthy. A couple of the neat things that can be done that businesses are finding is we can put into a home page a person's email address. So the customer who wants to get in touch with the business person can click on that with their mouse from their computer and be presented with a screen where they key in the request that they might have, press send, and it's in the business's email address that quickly. So the speed of this is just phenomenal. The people looking at home pages can be very local, or it could be someone in, as you say, South Africa. Before I came down here this morning, I was doing some work on my own computer, and I had a communication from someone in Sweden today. And that will occur as easily as it will as for someone from Scarlet Falls, for example. So there's a great ease to all of this. With the kind of work that Stuart's been adding to this with the graphics, we're able to offer, I think, a very presentable home page that could be customized to a particular company's tastes and images.
It could be very simple for some businesses. Maybe they just want their menu on there. Maybe they don't need a lot of graphics. Maybe they can. They might be able just to work with Wayne. But for those that may want a more graphic kind of presentation or more original, more to stand out more, just like in advertising. You see some ads in a newspaper. See some ads in a newspaper. You got a classified ad. It's about as simple as you can get, but it can be an effective ad if that's what you're looking for. Too, a full page kind of display ad with lots of graphics and photos. I mean, if folks think about it that way, there's a range of how the homepage might be right for your use.
Right. I mean, it certainly runs the gauntlet from printed pieces that you see that we've been using for years, from the simple brochure that's created by a small printing company, or a huge annual report that's taken hours and hours to produce and has a lot of color photography and more involved graphics. I think as you had mentioned earlier, the home page and the website is really going to start replacing a lot of the printed materials that we've been using for years and years. And it will become, in essence, an electronic brochure that can be updated very quickly. I think one of the main advantages is the fact that once you put a brochure out, almost immediately, unless that material is something over long range, it's almost obsolete right there. With a home page and a website, you can constantly be upgrading, constantly changing information, just like what we will do with the directory or the news of that particular month. So it's a pretty handy thing.
And other than just being interesting and knowing that you can do some neat things with it, why would you suggest that it's really important for most business people here in the North Country not to wait too long, to really be thinking about this now?
I think there's several reasons, Gary. The ease of presenting your business's product or service is there. It's easy to put out. It's relatively inexpensive to present. You can change it quickly. A restaurant, for example, can put their menu
Daily
online,
menu.
their daily menu, daily special. They can put a photo, if they want, of the prime rib or the salad bar or whatever, and change that even on a daily basis. One of the things that we're experimenting with right now is a little sound clip of the sizzle, so that people can click
Make
on
them
that.
hungry.
So it can be as as simple as that, or as complicated as a company putting on a listing of their 8,000 parts that they might have in their parts inventory, and changing that even on a daily basis if necessary. And as people contact them via the internet, they can order parts. The inventory can change. As new parts are presented or become available, they can be added. So it just becomes a very manageable way to handle your business presence. We started out really on a global viewpoint, and the things that seem to be working well, where you could put your company presence online, and someone across country, across the state, or across the world could contact it and contact the business for whatever business they wanted to do. And we've kind of grown down to the point where now we're looking at a regional presentation with the Chamber and the local businesses that will benefit all of the local businesses, but someone who is in San Diego and wants to travel to the North Country will be able to plan in advance their agenda. They'll be able to look at, from the web, see pictures of the various motels, hotels, whatever, probably choose the one that appeals to them the best, plan activities in the area, so they might stay a few extra days by looking at photos that would be online of the various activities that are presented, some of which may be short-term activities in the current events kind of area. And it's going to be as easy for someone at that distance to do it as someone very local.
And I know some folks may think, well, they think the technology, think, oh gosh, it has to be
Overwhelming.
it has to be overwhelming, but they may also think that it's very expensive, and actually it's already become relatively inexpensive. What kind of costs might a small business with a fairly simple initial homepage be looking at?
Well, we've developed a cooperative offering for Chamber members, where a simple homepage presenting the long page with some graphics and the response to an email address, which would ordinarily be $600 for a full year. We're offering a $100 discount to Chamber members, so they can do that for $50 a month, $500 a year, or just around $50 a month.
And that includes developing and creating it and then maintaining it over a 12-month period.
That's right.
For a whole year, and that reaches right now an estimated potential worldwide audience of how many?
43 to 50 million people.
People
Wow.
worldwide, and I know that's exploding. What are the numbers that are being cited about how quickly it's growing?
Websites are coming online at the rate of 500 to 700 a day.
A day, and people getting on the internet is just
Who knows?
it's mind-boggling. It's
It
just
really is.
increasing. So you're there for a year. Even the incredible audience you've got right now, next month's going to be bigger, and the month after that's going to be bigger.
That's right.
Another thing that I think is very interesting is the fact that it's not just for large businesses. Wayne can probably tell us a few stories of some very, very small businesses that you would never think in a million years these people are on the internet and doing business. And they have been for probably more than a year now, or?
Yes. In fact, we have some local folks. Sue Shilji is a local author who does Adirondack and Vermont cookbooks, and we've had her cookbooks online, and she gets orders from all over the country, and I think a couple from other countries, and they see her cookbooks with the notation, the explanation, a couple of photos, and they key in the information and send it to us electronically. We have another individual in the area who does stained glass, and we have some photos of his stained glass, and he's been doing business with that. And these are small businesses that are
One-person businesses.
essentially
Yeah, run out of the home, a lot of them probably.
very much.
So it's really good for everybody.
I received one of the other small businesses is a local potter in the area whose only presentation is a pie plate that has specially been designed with an apple motif in the bottom that he throws in his pottery works. And we received an email this morning from someone, I don't remember where it is, who wants to utilize that design in some other activity that they're developing on the internet. So there certainly are going to be residual kinds of business activities that develop from this as well.
That's great.
And as we mentioned, if they do a home page through this opportunity, it's going to be directly interactive with our business directory on there. And
Yes.
I think we've mentioned, I think common sense tells most people, where do most people go, particularly if they're from outside an area, to find out what's in that area? They go to the Chamber of Commerce. That's where they go. That's where they've gone for decades, and that's where they'll continue to go in the future. And so they're likely to come to that directory, number one. So the important thing there, if I can say so, is to be a member of the chamber. You're going to be on that directory, and then the point then becomes, well, do you want folks to even know more about you? Here's a chance to do that, and it'll be directly interactive. So if they're looking for a motel in this area, and they come to the ABC Motel, and it'll show on there that motel has a homepage.
Exactly.
And the viewer will then be able just to click onto that and go directly to that homepage to find out more about them. So that actually will become a competitive advantage for those that give that extra information beyond just that basic listing.
Very much. And I should mention, too, we were talking about home pages, but a company can have many, many pages. It can be as large and as extensive as the company wants to do. We're developing home pages, websites, in another context where they're going 30, 40, 50 pages at times. And that can be done. So a motel, for example, can show a front shot, a floor plan, a shot of the pool, a shot of the restaurant, interior shots of rooms, all of the information about rates, for example, special activities that might be associated. If it's a resort, they might want to have outdoor shots, whatever and as much as they want.
Manufacturer might want to put their whole industrial catalog on there. So it could be any
Yes.
kind of business potentially.
Yeah.
Some company in Germany looking for some kind of valve or something that's made here in this area. Having that whole industrial catalog, for example, might be just the way that that somebody out there in the world looking for that product finds it and finds out they have it.
A story that I just loved that we came across doing some research for a book that will be coming out soon. I shouldn't be plugging that right now. A business across the lake, actually, Jody and Annie's Brownies, presented their brownie-gram a little over a year ago, and they had just a phenomenal response to that around Valentine's Day.
Well, there you have it. A lot of exciting things out there. A lot that everybody in business in the North Country really needs to start learning about, and we're available to help them learn about it. And a lot of opportunities out there that are just opening up that businesses out there need to start thinking about taking advantage of before their competition does. Because sooner or later, if they don't do it, somebody else that does what they do is going to be doing it, and they don't want to be second and third or fourth to start doing it. So call the Chamber, find out more. We're here to help people understand and get into this. And we look forward to hearing from folks out there to learn more about our website. Visit it again, North Country Chamber.
.com.
.com.
You have to get it all in there, otherwise it doesn't work.
And call us at 563-1000 for more information. And be sure to continue tuning into future segments of North Country Commerce.